I always try to make each day a little bit different than the day before, and it looks like today I'm going to get my wish in spades. KARYN gives me the daily honey-do list. Boy, and it's loaded with stuff. But I guess I can use it to my advantage. Now, by having a lot of errands to run early in the morning, what it means is I won't get the paint until later this afternoon, when maybe it'll warm up a little. And of course, I try to sequence out every day and try to make each day enjoyable and each day productive. Today might be both. So all the batteries are charging. I just checked the temperature. It's 23 degrees. There's ice on the pond again. We had no ice for a couple of days. So it'll be a pleasure to do all my errands in the morning and try to work outside. Maybe it'll warm up to 30 degrees or so. So good news, there were no egrets on the pond or on my garage this morning. And that was a problem. Glenn had eagles eating his dog. I had egrets eating my fish just yesterday. Anyway, when there's ice on the pond, it means it's going to be brutal painting. If we get to paint this afternoon. It's warmed up to 27 degrees as we head out to do our errands. Whoa, I hope it goes up above 30. It is really tough painting in this really cold weather. But I'm sure we'll get something done today. It looks like it's going to be bright and sunny. But again, every day is different, and I like it that way. Also, at the end of this video, I dug up some old footage from 4 years ago of Glenn working on his project when it was brand new. Now it's 4 years later, and he's aged as much as I have. It's fun. I tack on a minute or two at the end of the video, and you'll see. We've all aged. I'm not a real car guy, but my first errand of the day here, look what's across the street. Holy crap. I think it looks like it's in nice shape. I'll bet John Cafaro would like to see that. Look at that. Check it out. An old Chevy. Well, I thought it would have warmed up more out there, but it's still not even 30 degrees. So I'm hoping it's going to be a warmer day. But this will warm me up, that's for sure. Have your morning coffee. Now let's see what we can get accomplished today. So because I'm in a not big rush to get outside, I wanted to paint these emblems. I want to just scuff this up a little bit with some 1200 paper very gently. I don't want to make it peel off, just so the paint gets a little better grip. The hardest part is going to be finding some way to hold this. I have to find some way to hold this while I'm painting it. Now the 1200 sandpaper, I just want to scuff this, and I know there's wax and oil and everything on it, so what I'm going to do, yeah, that's going to be enough. I don't want to go through this plastic coating. If I don't have to here. I didn't want to use any chemicals on this. I'm just afraid, you know, this is 25, 30-year-old plastic. Now, it'll always be safe. Yeah, that looks like it's going to be fine. It'll always be safe. I can hit this with some simple green, but I don't want to put any parts cleaner or anything on it. You just never know with plastic. So that looks like it's going to be fine. It's going to have a little bit of a grit tooth to it, and the paint should stick now. But finding a way to mount this is going to be the issue. Now I'm tempted to really take a toothbrush or something to these. Thing is, I know they're old plastic and they're going to be prone to melt, so what I thought would be the best investment, just to play it safe, is a coat of primer sealer. Now these are really not in perfect shape, but I'm trying to scratch that surface. I put a little simple green. Well, I guess they're not going to be too bad. They had something that looked like chewing gum on there, and I didn't even know what the hell it was. Anyway, what I did, I got 2 little blocks of wood. I want to try to attach these to the blocks of wood in such a way that I can hold them, and that would make it just easier to paint. Now, anybody that's painted for any length of time knows there's a reality to it. You have to be able to hold the part, and no matter how you do this, you got to be able to hold it. So what I thought would be worthwhile, and I looked at this from a lot of different ways, well, we're going to see if this works, is just a block of balsa wood, but it wouldn't matter it wouldn't matter what it was. A matchbox would be okay. Something to hold it. You think I would have more glue. Wow. Getting short on glue here, baby. Can it be that he's out of glue? Let me go get another glue. Wow. Thick CA would have been first choice, but we haven't used this in a while. Anyway, we'll get this glued up. No big secret how to do this. This is just so it gives us a handle that we can hold it. Just so we can hold it while we're painting it. And it just takes a few drops of Brodax CA, and there's the whole. I thought I'd put the wood the other way. This way is going to make it a lot more convenient. But that wood is just on there so we can paint it conveniently. So of course we're painting over plastic. I wanted to put on a coat of primer sealer. The word here that's important in the primer that you use, and you can use Rust-Oleum, Duplicolor. I've used 2 or 3 different ones, but they have to have the word sealer in them. The sealer is going to prevent the thinner that's in the paint we're going to put on from going in and making an alligator out of the old plastic. And this is old plastic, so it's even more important. So we now have a handle. I've got this just the slightest bit of scratching on it, cleaned with simple green, and I'm ready to put some primer on that and see if that's going to, well, we're going to find out. These are the kind of things why we do the test. And then, of course, once the primer dries, I can airbrush on a coat of black. The idea is to get these parts ready so once this afternoon, if it warms up over freezing, we can get clear on everything. That would be like the ultimate goal. But the most important thing here is to have that handle. That handle is really important. So this is just going to have to dry now. Just one coat is all you need, just to seal it up. We're not using it for filler or to level anything off. The part is perfect the way it is, except for the fact the primer acts like glue. It'll help it stick. Okay, so they're now drying up under a heating vent. As soon as they're dry, I'll mix up some paint in the airbrush, some black, and we'll get a coat of black on it. Usually the primer under the heating vent is about a 10-minute dry time. So I want to mix up, and this is, I have a batch already mixed. Shake it up good. It shouldn't need more than this. We'll give it 2 or 3 coats of black about 20 minutes apart. And the idea is then once it warms up outside, let's hope it does, of course. Once it warms up outside, we will be in a good position. We can put all the clear on everything in one shot. Now, if you notice what I did, I started the airbrush off the part, brought it over to the part, did the whole part, and then shut the air off. So I don't have any big glotches on that. And that looks like it'll be fine. It's warming up. I think it's 29 degrees right now, so my fingers are crossed. Anyway, the 2 Yamaha emblems are in black. They're ready for a coat of clear. And the idea, of course, we're trying, and I take a lot of pride, I'm trying to be very efficient. Now, of course, this afternoon, hopefully it'll warm up. I can get the clear on the wheel, on the emblems, and I got one other part. I got to paint the gas cap. Well, let me see if I can get that in black too, get everything drying. If I were to just go ahead and paint this, the odds are real good the paint's going to come off. Even by doing it, by etching it, I make it a little bit, stack the deck in my favor. I still don't have the deck in my favor here, so this is a problem. I also don't want to get a lot of paint down in where the key goes. So I'm going to try, well, I'm going to give this a couple different tries as to what I wanted to do. What I was going to try to do, just happen to have some 1200 sandpaper here. I want to scratch it up is what I want to do. And I'm using, instead of water, I'm using simple green. Maybe that'll help. Since this is something we don't traditionally do, guess we're going to find out. And by the way, you can do this. When we used to do model planes, we used to sand with Prepsol. and Sikkens M600, which was so good of a degreaser you can't buy it anymore. Yeah, that looks like it'll be fine. That looks like, so I'm going to I'll sand this whole part with 1200 sandpaper and get a coat of prime on it. Now what I did, just to be safe, I went over it with 220, realizing that it's going to be, this part up here is going to want to chip the paint. That's going to be a problem. I got plenty of etching on that now. It's got a nice scratch surface, but boy, that was the crappiest plating job I've ever seen. Now, we don't want to use primer sealer on this. We don't need to seal anything. Metal is not the problem. The right material, and it doesn't matter what brand it is, primer, but it should say self-etching primer. There's a big difference. If you put this on plastic, it doesn't seal. It has a tendency to go in. It's so etching, the chemical etching process tends to soften up the plastic, especially on older plastic, especially on Ducati mirrors. So I tend to think on metal that doesn't happen. The chemical composition of this primer is more able to go down and get a bite on it. So, and this has worked well on metal for me. Actually, it's worked well on wheels and stuff too. Self-etching primer when you're going over metal, raw, especially raw metal that you've just sanded. So this is actually tricky to backmask because I don't want any paint at all to get on that rubber. It's tricky, so I took the tape and put it underneath. Hopefully, I don't know, I hope that's going to work the way we want it to. So conveniently, the vice grip pliers will be a good way to hold this. And I thought the best thing here is not to get any paint down in there. And because this paint will chip from the key, this polished up nice. I polished it a little bit. And it's already got chrome on it, so it shouldn't be a problem. I'll put my fingernail around the edge. And then we won't get a paint problem where the paint is bridging this and it cracks and peels up. Supposedly. We'll see. That's got a nice etch on it, the self-etching primer. This should work. This should work well. We've always had good luck with that. Yeah, that's definitely got to sit by the heating vent for a while. Now, another thing I found out, this primer for sure takes a lot longer to dry than the sealer primer. I'm sure there's the chemical reason for that, but so if all else fails, I'll just let this dry overnight up by the heating vent. These have already dried up. We're basically coming close to. We're just going to hope that it warms up just a little bit before we shoot the clear. But we'll be ready within an hour. Now, I know Glenn has eagles at his house looking to eat his poor puppy, but what I do, these are my eagles. They're not quite that big, but these guys come to visit me every day when I have my extra coffee and my lunch. Well, they're all over the place today. Wow. So while I'm waiting for all my stuff to warm up outside, it doesn't look like it's going to the speed I like. Our friend Daryl and Donna donated this sign to our cause. We will hang this up in the shop, of course. This is the key to life when you get old. There was a time when we ran out of coffee, and I would have crawled on my knees to go get a cup of coffee. Anyway, that's nice. And I thank you, Daryl. Now, he said his daughter made this, and she made a little, I'm going to try to put this, I'm going to try to do this with the macro lens, give her a little shout out here, but Daryl and Donna, of course, thank you very much. That is no guarantee, of course, but he says this is his daughter who made the sign. That's very cool. Now, I call this our wall of honor, and someday when we have a rainy day or something, I go down and describe why each thing on this wall. You know what it's like? I guess I shouldn't really say this. It sounds like I'm being judgmental. Everything on here has a special meaning to me. Sometimes I'm not really sure what the meaning is, good or bad, but memories of things, track days, and bikes that we restored, and being on the cover of magazines and things. But it all boils down to one thing. When I walk down into my shop, I feel comfortable and I feel like working. And Daryl, your sign is going to be added to that very soon. So Daryl and Donnie, you're right under the the beloved GS clock. You're on the wall of honor. There's a lot of special things on this wall to me. A lot of special memories of special days, times when I was young, friends that have passed away, and these unlimited amount of trophies, the unlimited amount of first place trophies. You know, it's true. Ray won these in Florida, and we've got them hanging on a wall here from the restoration that we did on the RD, and that's a whole nother story. Again, thanks. So I thought I'd share another good little tip, and it's a tip I've learned the hard way many times. Now, this is the part we repaired, and again, if you're going to be a painter or you're going to paint things on your own projects, one of the most helpful things of all is to know, and if you're wondering why I didn't use a hair dryer, it's because our faithful hair dryer died this morning. Anyway, I'm going to go confiscate Karen's good hair dryer unless I can fix it. Anyway, but here's the point. This is a really good thought too. Years ago when I used to work, and I would do this, I never used tack cloth. Now, I don't know why, but when I was doing this semi-professionally, that'll be the best way to describe it. I never found any advantage to them. I just said, what the hell's the point? You know, just one extra thing I got to buy every time I go to the body shop. So the guy at Gavin's convinced me. And he gave me a free sample, in fact. And he says, yo, yes, because I was down there with the RD parts and I was showing him. And he showed me this trick. Now, he's an old body man. He says, you buy a tack cloth, and they're cheap, a couple bucks, and you don't use it like this. This is what you're supposed to do to a tack cloth. You're supposed to take it. And when he showed me this, I said, oh, that's a great idea. I'll put that on my video. And you know what? Because I'm an old fart, I just forgot to do it. But these are, if you've never had one, they're sticky. It feels like they're chewing gummy. But what you're supposed to do, and this was, Dennis from Gavin's showed me this. Who knows if he knows as much as Santa Claus. I don't know. Or do any of us know? So maybe I'm missing a point here. Yeah, I am. There. I was thinking it looked bigger when he did it. But I did not know this. And again, I'd used them in the past. I stopped using them. I said, it's not really necessary. And actually, all the paint jobs that I did for over the years without them seemed to be okay. But now we've reached a level where we really want it to be just as perfect as we can make it. I'm taking longer than I should here. But you're supposed to take it apart like that and then roll it up and use it. And this is the part we just repaired. And then from that point on, right now, move it around, right now, take it out and paint it. Don't sit and then, you know, have the cat walk over it or whatever. We're ready to shoot clear. And this is the clear that we've wound up using. The real number is 5172. And the fast hardener, of course, it comes several ways, 5186. Now that combination, the idea of that is it dries relatively quickly and it picks up the minimum amount of dust, so it makes the buff out and the final sand out that much easier. And this is really nice quality stuff, about $90 to $100 a gallon for the pair. So I airbrushed on the black. It looks like the cap's going to be nice. This is going to have to dry before I put clear on it. And I think I just get a gut feeling Luciano's going to be happy with that. And if he isn't, we know what the answer is going to be. So the mix on this is 4-to-1. And believe me, there's been many times, this is a good tip, many times that I've been mixing paint and somebody come in the room and somebody that was working, he'd say, hey, you want a salami sandwich for lunch? And I'd lose count. So when I mix paint, I always try to avoid social interaction. And because I found if you mix it exactly like the manufacturer says, probably going to dry a lot better than if you put, if you forget to put the hardener in or something. We don't know. We're too busy raising pet eagles here. Anyway, well, I was thinking about Glenn's dog today. Oh my God, that's terrible. All right, we're ready to paint clear. This is what we live for. This is it. Now Karen's been monitoring the weather, and she said it just went up over 32 degrees. It's above freezing. And boy, that paint is laying down. Wow, that's beautiful. I don't know if you can see it on the video unless you're looking on a widescreen TV. Maybe on a cell phone this doesn't look so hot, but that really does look good. So in the course of the day, we had a chance to put 3 coats, 20 minutes apart. I don't know if you could ever get it to lay down better than that. That is really laying down nice. Again, I don't know, because I know a lot of people do look at these videos on a cell phone while they go into the bathroom or something, but that for sure is a nice coat of paint. And because we did all the prep, what's going to happen, buffing that out will be a piece of cake. Now, next up are the emblems, the wheel, and the last thing will be the gas cap, because that's been painted. I want to give it the most dry time possible. We'll see how these emblems come out. Now all that's left now is the wheel. And I'm saving the gas cap for last, just giving out a little extra dry time. The emblems come out great. The side cover is great. Yeah, that's Luciano, you're going to be a happy boy. Okay, side one went pretty good. I'm going to let the sun shine on that for a few minutes and flip to the other side. Oh, that really did come out nice. Wow. Now, I'm not sure, again, if you're looking on a cell phone, you're ever going to see any of the details. I look at this at a high-def TV and I can see details. Wow, that really came out nice. And I don't think, even on the video, it looks as good as it does in real life. This was one hell of a day. I got to paint the clear on that gas cap and we're good to go. Now, a good tip to end this video with is you put that in the wheel balancer and just let it, and I'll babysit it for half an hour or so because it's so cold out here, and that'll prevent or minimize the chance of getting any runs.
Oh my God,
show me what you got. Is it orange Julius?
No, it's
cotton
candy milkshake.
Is that healthy?
No.
Look what he brought.
Wow.
Look what he brought for Grammy.
You brought Grammy flowers?
Oh my God.
Wow. What did you bring me?
Look at these colors. He picked
Oh, you brought me the orange Julius. How nice. So I want to show you the sign. The sign is right up here, Miles. See the sign? See the sign? No coffee, no worky. Now what do you say to that? No coffee, no worky.
I guess it gives you a lot of energy.
Yeah. How come you didn't come here and help me sand and paint and grind and everything today? But you brought Grammy flowers. That's wonderful. And
I see the initials on the back.
Miles, Miles, you got to come here and help me work. I'm getting old. You got to take over the business. I'm getting too old to do this. What do you say to that? See you later, alligator. So even though Miles is, Miles refuses to help me sand and grind, at least he brings Grammy flowers. So as crazy as it all was today, We got flowers for Grammy. We got the wheels done. We got Luciano's clear on. We got all our errands run. Now if I could only find that Fountain of Youth. Ooh, that's the hard one. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. And I'm going to put that little snippet of Glenn at the end of this. Enjoy it.
I know why. This has to come out. Because it's hit.
You got to get rid of the front stand.
All right. Let's
Get rid of this. Okay, wait. This is pretty funny. We're trying to fit everything up of these pieces.
Somebody hold the bike.
I got the bike.
Sure.
Yeah, I got the bike. Ah!
Kickstand down?
Yes.
Kickstand's down. Let it rip. Okay.
Good.
Okay, let it go to the kickstand. That's okay. Now you can get it in place. It all looks so easy in the advertisements when you go to do it.
Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay.
This, catch the, I see it. No, leave that guy for now.
Okay.
I'll show you why.
This piece has to come up
This
here.
guy,
Yeah.
it rolls right around.
You're going to wind up putting a bolt in here somewhere.
Right.
And it fits near the speedometer. It's got to come further forward so you can get a windshield on it. There you go. Now it's good. That's good.
That's the spot right there.
That's it.
Okay.
Wow, that's going to look nice.
Look at the mounts inside. Are nowhere near.
Well,
No, they're okay. They put rubber bushings in there. That'll be fine.
How so? 2 inches of rubber bushings?
Yeah, you can put a spacer in there.
Let's take a look. Look at it. That up.
It looks a lot closer of a fit than my FZR stuff did.
already, some kind of standoff or something.
Yeah. See that?
Maybe you could bend those out. This is all the fun. The fun of fitting bodywork to a track bike.